Right, we are back. Hey there, guys. It's not true. Stable Master just watching this happen. No worries, he's not concerned. Halloween stuff in full effect here, I think. I don't. No, it's still Brewfest, right? Yeah, Halloween doesn't start for a while. When does it start? Couple weeks still. Harvest Festival. Hollow's End. Oh, it doesn't start till the 18th of October. Really? Thought it would go for more than a few weeks. The Christmas one's like 4 weeks or 5 weeks or something. Okay, so I have no idea. Should we like go behind here? I don't really. I was thinking about this quest overnight. I'm like, what is even? This zone is so strange. The strangest thing. So you just come back here and use this? You have no target. What do you mean? Do we have to kill one? No. I just throw them. Just has to hit a target. And they're gonna run by me again too. It looks like. Oh, not this one. Oh, not that one either. We might have some trouble here. Again, platers off. I gotta change the profile. That's why that's happening. Try to run. Okay, good. We can't fight all those. Oh, we got that quest done at least. Let's see what else. Anderhall Defender slain. So now we're fighting the Alliance. Succinctly fighting them. And Anderhall Force Commander slain as well. So we should probably try to go as deep in there and try to get both quests done at once. And, oh, they're just next to each other. Okay, cool. This guy patting into us. Wearing the paladin. Yeah, he's fighting. He's fighting us. He's wearing the or he's riding the paladin mount, which I don't believe is a paladin, but maybe. Paladins are hard to distinguish nowadays when they're wearing all this random gear. This guy looks like a warrior, but I bet he's not really doing anything spell-wise. It takes me like a second to get back to figuring out the specs rotation. I don't normally play a caster. If you've been watching the Evoker stuff, you might realize that. Not used to buttons that I press not immediately doing something. That's the big thing. I don't know if that mob just had a lot of health or didn't really play very well, I guess. Alright, here we go. Try to fight the regular mobs now. We need a lot of those. That one died nice and quick. I open with Vampiric Touch. That feels like the right choice. I never like know if like it's better to open with your strongest global that has a CD, or if it's better to open with a dot that needs to ramp up for it to be effective each like, because that is not even half of its duration and the mob is dead, right? So I always wonder, like, in short world content, what is the most efficient use of the spell? Obviously, since it's world content, it doesn't really matter. The mob's dying one way or the other, but I always think about this in Classic because it feels like it would be far more important in Classic when mana is still such a big concern. But when you got these bigger health mobs, it's a lot easier to feel like you're making the right decision. See, those guys have the... would that be Bloodlust that they have right now? I've been talking about this over the years, but one of my favorite like spell effects ever in the game is when Paladin they get this proc that allows them more damage done. I think it's just straight up all damage, right? I think it changes to holy damage at some point in WoW's lifetime, but Rep Pally has that for like 3 expand, like from classic until Kata, I believe, and then it's gone. I think it's like whenever you get a crit, you do more damage for a while. I absolutely love the way it looks on, at least on human paladins. I've never, now that I think about it, maybe it looks different on Blood Elf paladins. But anyway, it's this kind of like glowing white aura around their hands. Very similar to what this guy has. Don't know why he's glowing blue or whatever, but yeah, very similar to that. But I think that's what Bloodlust, because if you have a Draenei Bloodlust, that's what you get. I'm pretty sure it's kind of like a more, almost like a crystalline look to it instead of like a pure white look. Yeah, I think that would be Bloodlust there. It's got like more particles to it. It's gone now. I assume that's why they have it, because they're, or I'm sorry, heroism is the spell that we're describing right now. But yeah, it's called Vengeance, and I just love the way it looks. It's such an iconic, like, classic thing, you know what I mean? Whenever I see that, I know you're playing a paladin, a rep paladin, especially in classic. I've always loved that, like, because I think that was originated in like Warcraft 3, where there was like auras around the hands. I kind of like that a lot for some reason. There's not a lot of spells like that in the game anymore. So kind of just like Bloodlust, really. Like Temporal, whatever, Bloodlust for all the different specs have something similar. And then that's pretty much it. I don't think there's really anything else. The way they've like delivered animation in the game has changed so drastically in the last like 5-6 years, or pretty much ever since Legion. They decided that, you know, it's going to be more, I guess, class-based. Used to be race-based, right? Like, you used to have an animation that would play on every spell that was somewhat similar, and that was very unique to the race. Like the backward slash thing that we always talk about with dwarves. Or like, for example, probably more well-known, the front flip for female undead. That one's very, very commonly known, I'm sure. Yeah, that's definitely Bloodlust. That's definitely the heroism. But anyway, but so I don't even know if that front flip thing is still in the game, because the ones that I used to love from Classic, from Human and Dwarf, they don't seem to be in the game anymore. Like, the Human one is still in the game. You could find it, from what I can tell, on maybe 2 spells. I always say 1 spell, but I think it's 2 spells. One of them is Hammer the Righteous from Prop Pally, which is something a lot of people don't even take, because it competes with Blessed Hammers, which everybody says is better. So you never really see it anyway. And then the other one that I'm pretty sure, I think I already looked at this. It's Eviscerate. Eviscerate seems to still use all the old animations for some reason. Now, I tried the same thing on Night Elf, and Night Elf, it seemed like it was more like Warrior. Bloodthirst used it, it seemed. The old Warrior Heroic Strike one, because basically it was like a spell that you would see Heroic Strike and Sunder Armor used it, and pretty much like, you know, if you're Judgment or whatever, you're a Blessing of I don't even know what the name of the spell is. It's the rep talent, the 20-point rep talent, or the level 20 rep talent, whatever that spell is actually called. Whenever that procs, like, you would do this animation, and that animation was done by so many melee spells, pretty much like every melee spell in the game. And it became like something, you know, I've kind of fallen in love with. Like, I've seen it so many times that I'm now like excited to see it all these years later. And it doesn't seem to really exist anymore. Like, it's pretty much got no, like, you don't see it anywhere anymore. And that's because they started making class-based animations instead. Like, for example, just say Heartstrike used to use it. I don't think it did, but just say Heartstrike used to use it. Now, every race uses a new Heartstrike specific spell. I guess a better example would probably be Bloodthirst, maybe? I don't actually know what Bloodthirst looks like on every race, but there's probably a great example out there, and I'm just not thinking of it right now. But I would like to get that one that's padding. But, can we get by here? Nope. That's not... I'm not fighting that mob. But anyway, I really like the old animations is what I'm trying to say. At least for casters, there isn't like most of the spells are just straight up you move your arms around and cast spells. Like that's enough. You know what I mean? That's why I like Undead so much, because the way they kind of like, it's got like a really cool look to it. So I really like that. All right, I'm just waiting for this mob to pop back, and then we will kill that one. Oh, good. That's perfect. It's on the guard to fight. Oh, that wasn't even the same mob anyway, though. Oh, we beat the guard, damn. I thought we used to go into that house there to do something, but maybe that's just in Classic. I felt like that was something in there, but... So far, I'm not seeing any Lillian Voss stuff. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna have to just like sit down and just read the Wikipedia page, because I was really eager to come to the zone because I thought Lillian Voss was gonna be heavily featured, but doesn't seem to be here. Maybe she's gonna show up right now. You'd think she'd be part of the Horde questline.
What is your desire? We have died so that others may live. Speak quickly. I shall serve.
I was informed that that worthless woman, Lindsay Ravenson, would be here to support me in this battle, but so far she's done nothing but brood within the basement of the Great Hall behind me. All the better, I suppose. She was a bit of a distraction. Still, I cannot and will not stand for insubordination. Find her and bring her to me. This has to be her, right?
Cannot stop us.
Is that what they're doing here? This is not actually somebody named Lindsay's son. This has got to be Lillian Voss, right? She's even got the fucking weapon.
Hello?
You won't be taking me anywhere, Metro. While Kultira prances about with his playmate, the Sarian, I plan to win this battle. Then I'll make Kultira suffer for his weakness. Don't believe me? Fine, I'll let you in on a little secret.
Ask no one.
Oh, it's actually just Sylvanas. What the fuck?
I have no time for games.
You have no idea how difficult it was to stay disguised while I watched Kultira let this war slip away from us. Even now, those infernal farmers threaten to overwhelm us, all because he refused to slay a fiend, a friend. Take my Valkyrie again, Metro. With her by your side, kill these farmers, convert them to Forsaken, and mobilize them. Then take a group of them into Alliance-held Western Anderhall and hunt down this Death Knight to the Sarian. We will win this war yet. Huh, that's a hell of a twist. I did not see that coming, honestly. Okay, so that makes a lot more sense why the random character had a Valkyrie. Cop was trying to like explain. Did he not know? Like, I guess he was maybe trying to not spoil it. So how do we raise them out? In the past they had pet bar, but not this time it seems. Oh, it's just gonna happen automatically. Okay. If you're frightened, why don't you run? I'm such a human sympathizer in this game. It's crazy. I can't ever feel bad for the humans. You don't even need to dot these guys. They have so little health. Okay. Hunt the Sarian. But if I remember correctly, the Alliance... I'm trying to remember the Alliance quest. I made a whole video on it, I think. Okay. Are we meant to actually go in this way? A lot of enemies. What? Can we go up and around? Holy fuck. I know we have NPCs that are supposed to help us, but they don't really. Wow. I guess not. So we gotta cut a bloody swath through the battlefield, as Sir Barristan Selmy once did. What would be the best way to do that? Over here? They're aggroing one at a time, I guess. That's nice. Kinda just should just get them here ASAP. Can we get multiple? Because then they attack. If they're not next to me, they don't attack for some reason. And they actually do like serious damage, looks like. I don't know if they can die. Yeah, it's like they straight up don't aggro more than one, it looks like. So I gotta be careful though, there's a lot of enemies. For our frail little character. Oh shit. Maybe they don't do that much damage. Yeah, we got a lot of enemies to fight. Strange quest. Uh-oh. I'm dead here. No fear. Yeah. Just can't do that, that's for sure. Man, this zone fucking blows. This has got... this is it. This is the last time I'm doing this zone. You will never see a playthrough of me doing the zone again. I wanted to see the story. I wanted to see the lore so bad. This has got to be the worst zone in the game for a leveling challenge. It really has to be. Like, I don't even know what we're doing right now. But now that I've died, it's like, do I need to get those mobs raised again, I guess? Probably. I might have to even drop the quest and do it again. Maybe... Well, no, I was going to say maybe they expect you to just fly. But I don't think flying was in... No, you couldn't fly at this level in the past, right? When Kata was first launched. I believe we have a free flying mount. You just get one now, I guess. Put a lot of effort into making this feel like a battle. And not a lot of effort into making this a good video game. Yeah, so all of our guys are dead. Do we need them to be alive is the question. Because I really don't want to go back and do that again. Go that way. We also have Mind Soothe. We need to use that. No, we didn't really need to fight those too much. Lurid? Who's that? This is the body of Lurid, Thessarian's trusted knight. With Thessarian nowhere to be found, it would seem that the Alliance forces have withdrawn. The forces have won the battle for Anderhall. The Forsaken have won the battle for Anderhall. That's because something that happens in the Alliance, right? Sylvanas will want to know about the Thessarian's departure from Anderhall. You resolve to return to the Forsaken side of town. What a fucking strange zone. I'll tell you what. That's really anticlimactic. Wow. Is that actually it? Because I'm pretty sure she goes over there and loses Valkyr, doesn't she? I have no idea. Are they hopefully going to expand on that? I mean, it's just more evidence of what I was saying. Like, Kata did such a bad job of improving the game with this stuff, and not only did they do a bad job because of the stuff they removed, they did a bad job because of the stuff they added.
We are the Forsaken.
See, all it took
We will
was a little help from the
slaughter
Valkyr.
anyone who
These
stands
creatures are
in our
turning to be
way.
much more helpful than I had first thought. Now, on to other matters.
What are we if not slaves to this torment?
This is how you win a war. Someone ought to teach that Death Knights a military strategy. Your performance was admirable, soldier. You make Forsaken proud, which is more than I can say for our General Kultura Deathweaver. I intend to have a word with that Death Knight. He has shamed himself and his cause. Oh, okay. Well, at least something's happening. Your queen summons you. Your Highness, I delivered to you Anderhall. Enough of this insolence. Do you think that I'm blind to everything that goes on outside of the Undercity? Your Majesty, we were victorious. No thanks to you. Anderhall should have been ours days ago when we defeated the Scourge. I know your secret, Kultira. I'm aware of your friendship with the Alliance Death Knight Thessarian. Arthas clearly failed when he created his Death Knights. You are still weak. Fortunately, I have agents that can help you erase this weakness. Beneath the Undercity you go. Whoa. When I'm finished with you, your fear will be gone. You can thank me later. So what happened? What the fuck? So what happens to him in Legion then? Like,
What
when is he?
joy is there in this
I have nothing
curse?
against the Knights of the Ebon Blade, but Kultir needs to be reminded who he works for now. His loyalty must lie with the Horde, or more specifically, the Forsaken. Why, though? He's not a Forsaken. He's a Blood Elf. I wouldn't plan on seeing Kultir anytime soon. Now that I have him, you can rest assured that any bonds he may have had with the Alliance scum will be thoroughly broken. Are you sure? Very strange. Like, from what I know about the storylines, that makes no fucking sense at all. Let me, you know, dude, time to take a little break here. I gotta look into this. Kultira Deathweaver. I'm gonna read a little bit about this, because this is very confusing to me, frankly. During the war against the Lich King, he journeyed to the Horde fortress of Agmar's Hammer and Dragonblight, where he charged Horde members with powering his Runeblade and striking at the local Scourge threats. Later, he was aiding the Horde while on Orgrim's Hammer, dispensing missions against the Lich King. So he's a big quest giver in Wrath. It later appeared that the Thessarian and their brethren in the Ebon Blade, arriving in time to battle Arthas Menethil himself and relieve the Ardent Crusaders of their unfavorable predicament. After Tyrion destroyed what remained of the Lich King's heart, Arthas was temporarily wounded, and the Kultira was in favor of finishing him off on the spot. However, Darion was more in favor of patience. Okay, following the Cataclysm, the Alliance and the Forsaken began fighting with each other and the Scourge over control of Anderhall and Western Plaguelands. The Alliance, led by Thessarian, took control of the western portion of the town, while the Horde, led by Kultira Deathweaver, took control of the eastern portion. Over the course of the Battle of Anderhall, Kultira sent Horde heroes to deal with the remaining Scourge forces. Yeah, okay, we just all did that. Kultira began to fend out the Alliance forces. Blah, blah, blah. Instructed the player to locate Lindsay Ravenson, whose input Kultira had been somewhat dismissive of earlier. Upon meeting Ravenson, it is revealed that she was in fact none other than Sylvanas. She sent Horde agents and Valkyr to assault the Alliance forces. After the Alliance was defeated, Sylvanas confronted Kultira about the truce with Thessarian and scolded him for being weak. A portal to the Undercity was open, and Kultira was pulled through by a hooked chain, where Sylvanas was attempt to purge him of his compassion for Thessarian and make him more of a servant of the Horde, more specifically a servant of Sylvanas and the Forsaken. Over the years since Kultira had been imprisoned, the Ebon Blade made several attempts to negotiate with Sylvanas for his release, but she refused them all. Whether he knew of this or not, Kultira never gave up hope that his order was trying to free him. With the third invasion of the Burning Legion threatening all of Azeroth, Thessarian made a personal request of the Order's new Death Lord to help him rescue Kultira from the Undercity. Man, I do not remember any of this. I gotta do the Death Knight chain again, because it's freaking good. Like, it is peak Death Knight fantasy. Kultira is successful. There's some good ones, and there's some decent ones. Like, I think a lot of the Priest and Paladin ones overlap. But the Death Knight one is like, nothing, you know, all of it. Even the Mount questline as well, which extends the chapter of the class-based storylines in Legion. It's like peak Death Knight. If you like Death Knight stuff, that's where you want to go. Kultira is successfully broken out of the Apothecarium after the Death Lord assisted Thessarian in fighting through the guards. Afterwards, he remarks that he'd rather not talk about his captivity and wants to focus on the invasion instead. And that's it. The two of them make their way to Orbos and are looking at the Maw. He later patrolled the interior and protected it from the Mosshorn. Wow. Very strange. I don't... So they basically had some plan for him and then just never finished the plan, and that was the end of the storyline for the character, I guess. Huh. Does there... Okay, yeah. I mean, he's a blood elf, but so is Sylvanas, I guess, so that's why she's saying, like... Was during the defense... Oh, he actually knew Thessarian during the defense of Qualtalas against the impending Scourge invasion, where he was defending this person and his brother. Mariel was quickly swaying, blah, 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 charged Thessarian directly, only to be quickly beaten. Kultura noticed, however, that Thessarian hesitated in killing him. Oh, so they were already Death Knights in that, I see. I thought this was when they were both alive. The next day, the Elf Gates failed, and the Scourge entered Silvermoon, where Kultura and Thessarian continued their duel. Thessarian emerged... Oh, okay, so no, Kultura was alive, but Thessarian wasn't. Thessarian emerged victorious and took Kultura's life. Kultura was then raised as a Dark Fallen and another Death Knight of the Scourge. Despite being his murderer, Thessarian and Kultura developed a bond during the service under Arthas and came to see each other as brothers. Stuff like that, man. It's like really well written. The first Death Knight to join the Alliance. As a young man, he joined the Lordaeron army, hoping to follow his father's footsteps. Followed Prince Arthas to his expedition to Northrend, where he was slain and reanimated by the Scourge. Damn. He's forced to slay his own mother. Wow, man. That's a fucking good story. It's just a comic, I guess, huh? What comic? I don't even know. Oh, it's named the name of it is Death Knight. This is from Rat. Oh no, it's 2000. Wait, what? 2019? 2009. That's well after Wrath, isn't it? Damn, this looks like it would be good. Oh, Falric as well. Oh, there's so much good stuff in this universe, man. It's crazy. All right. Anyway, I think that's it. I think we'll move on. I don't know where we're going to go. Let's quickly go do a couple of these early quests because they're good experience. I don't know where we're going to go. Maybe we'll try to finish it, but I just don't really like this quest segment. But I don't think there's a single, like, quest that I haven't done in the zone, because I'm pretty sure Alliance and Horde do the exact same, right? It looks like it. I mean, they're all the same chapters, at least. So I don't necessarily like the ending to that zone. It drags on pretty severely. But yeah, we'll just quickly probably ding, I guess. I only have about, well, we got a lot of time still, really.
How may I aid you? Your coin will go a long way here.
Oh, right, I forgot about this weird shit. And Zenkiki doesn't actually even help either. That's another thing that I just like. Stuff like that. I mean, I get why people like that, but stuff like that is just such a bad... I don't like that at all. The characters can't, like, be that silly, in my eyes, for them to be enjoyable. Kata really laid that on thick, I feel like. They've always had this kind of, like, chuckle, you know, like, kind of inside joke humor in WoW, but never that heavy as it was in Kata. And then even after that, it stopped. Like, in MoP, it's not like that ever. Like, even, you know, you would think in MoP, it would be more like this. Because, like, it's super, like, kind of lighthearted almost, you know what I mean? But it's not. It's the complete opposite. MoP is so much more serious than Cataclysm. It's like whoever had the overarching lead, you know, like who was in charge of like kind of the narrative design, I guess. Lead narrative designer, I guess, is that role. Whoever had that for Kata probably did not have that for MoP. Because they're very different expansions. But to be honest, I think it's mostly just a thing in these low levels. I think that's kind of the case. This was part of their, you know, strategy to make the game more modern and feel more, I guess, like lighthearted or something. I can't tell if he actually does. Oh. Now the Scarlet Interrogator's there. Can't tell if he's actually doing damage or not. I don't think so. If he is, he's doing very little. Ugh, leather. I feel like we've gotten pretty unlucky with gear, to be honest. We do have some good gear on. But it's been we still have no weapon. It's been a while since we've gotten a good piece. We got that chest piece yesterday, and that was it. That was all we've gotten so far. Okay. Well, yeah. Seemingly nothing to do with Lillian Voss either. What, like... Very confused by that. I'm gonna be reading about it while we play. I need to get experience here. I can't. I'm really relying. Look at this fucking nonsense. It's like, stop, man. I'm not necessarily like, oh. I'm not like prone to some kind of seizure or something like that, but man, it's not very comfortable to look at that flashing light over and over again. Okay, that's a big upgrade regardless. And it's a new transmog. Love it. I love low-level cloth gear, though. It looks so... It all looks low fantasy. There's so little of it that doesn't look low fantasy. There's like those big, elegant robes that you might see, like the robe of power look in Classic. That's it. Everything else is like ultra low fantasy. Like look at what this... What the hell? What the fuck? Another BOE. 3 BOEs and 3 combats, but that one of them was a rare. So I'm just a quick reading of this. It seems like Lillian Voss is not like officially accepted as a Forsaken right now. Is that what's going on? It just says after the Fourth War, Lillian would finally begin to be accepted in the Forsaken Society, stepping up as a representative of the Forsaken on the Horde Council. It's after Sylvanas leaves, obviously. Oh, we're not looting something. We've been done with this for a while. Oops. Is it just straight up, like, only takes place in the dungeon? Let's just read this segment. Lillian would grow up into a young woman and friends with Scarlet Lieutenant Gebler. After she died, her corpse ended up at the Death Knell Graves, and Lillian was raised as an undead by the Forsaken's Valkyr. When Forsaken adventurers approached her to recruit her into the Forsaken ranks, she ran away in denial. She was later found by Novice Elrith in Death Knell to show her what she really was and encourage her to join the Forsaken. Novice Elrith gave the Forsaken adventurer a hand mirror. When Lillian saw her own face in the mirror, she ran away, again calling for her father and denying her life as an undead. Yeah, that was a big part of the storyline. I really like that. Shortly thereafter, she was captured by the Scarlet Crusade and imprisoned. She was informed by Gebler that her father had disowned her, and he had ordered him to carry out Lillian's immediate execution. Enraged by this, Lillian passed through the bars of her cage, ignited herself in purple flames, and instantly killed her former comrade. Now, this is where things get messy for me. Because if your job as, you know, part of the Scarlet Crusade is only to kill undead, and your daughter is dead, but then turned into undead, I get it that she's still sentient, but it's like, what'd you think he was gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, I don't. What did she think was gonna happen? I guess she hoped that her father would have some kind of magical cure for it or something. But that's not how it works. You know what I mean? It's like, it's tough. Think about it from his perspective. Obviously, they paint the Scarlet Crusade as like these fanatical people that you can't be a part of. But think about it from his perspective. Like, she died. He grieved her death, presumably. She should just be gone from his life now entirely, right? That's like what happens in real life, at least. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's tough. It's tough to reconcile because I don't know, man. That's tough. That's really tough. I wouldn't want anybody I love to come back as a Forsaken, that's for sure. Regardless of what faction I was a part of. Anyway, sometime later, High Executor Darrington at the Bulwark was approached by Lillian, swearing enmity against the Crusade, so he directed her to the north. Dozens of Scarlet Crusaders were found that had been killed in the same fashion as the Crusader outpost and Scarlet encampment. Lillian was again encountered by a horde adventurer and escorted to her father, so we did all that. Lillian grabbed Benedictus and climbed up the walls of the tower, strangling and killing him in the process before escaping again. And that's like typical WoW stuff, but like there's so much more nuance to it, right? Obviously the father's a bad person and they paint him as like some, you know, somebody who prioritized like the heresy of the undeath over his actual emotions towards the daughter. But in reality, it's like, you know, presumably he went through a gambit of emotions when he found out his daughter was dead, grieved her loss, and expected her to be gone for good. Although you kind of can't expect that because of the way the universe is playing out. But like, that's tough. I don't know what I would do if I was in that situation. Anyway, Lillian grabbed Benedictus. We read that. Darrington later received reports of Scarlet Crusade activity at a small camp at Fellstone Field, now known as the Charred Outpost. He sent horde adventurers to the Western Plaguelands to inspect the camp. Upon reaching the camp, the Crusaders were all found dead and engulfed in purple flames, implying that Lillian had passed through the area. Okay, so that was her. Even though Sylvanas was there, it was her who killed those people. Interesting. So then that's it. Then nothing happens until Mop. Yeah, okay. Wow. I'm very surprised by that. For a long time, she seemed to have tried to find her place in the world. Lillian appeared again in the revamped Scarlet Monastery, directing adventurers to clear up any rebuilding Scarlet forces inside the monastery and to retrieve Blades of the Anointed, the only weapon that is able to permanently kill High Inquisitor Whitemane. Why would they keep it in the... Anyway. After the deed was done, Lillian finally revealed herself and took the Blades, venturing to eradicate the Scourge remnant in Scholomance, including Darkmaster Ganling. Turning her wrath against the Scourge Necromancers, Lillian fought her way through Ganling's domain, only to be subdued by the Darkmaster himself. Now turned against her ally, she had to be freed from the Necromancer's control by defeating her in combat. So if you've never done Scholomance, that's a pretty hard fight, but pretty cool fight. After the Necromancer fled, Lillian begged the adventurers to leave her to die alone. However, she managed to survive the wounds she sustained during the battle and is still active in the world somewhere. Wow, okay, well. I thought there was a lot more to this character. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't have put all my eggs in the basket of her being a main character. I'm kind of disappointed by that, honestly. But all good. It's still a cool character, and I'm glad we got to see it in Tirisfal Glades. Or whatever that zone's called. Yeah, Tirisfal Glades and Silverpine Forest. I always confuse those two. Pretty much because I never, ever do them. Like, I don't know when the last time I did those zones was before this series. I don't know if the answer is ever. Like, the answer may literally be never. Not really a big fan of the way the zones look. And after doing it some in Classic, if you guys haven't been watching the live streams on this channel, I did go back to Hardcore to test out the Rested Experience guide on Hardcore. I was gonna make a video, but now that I found out that you can like literally get it for free, like insanely easy, I'm like, maybe I just won't even bother with this. I don't need to attach my name to any more negativity of that type. But anyway, the guide sends you to to Silverpine for some fucking reason. Well, actually, it's pretty cool. It's kind of ingenious how and why they do it, to be honest. But it's really dangerous. Like, I feel like that's probably more dangerous than just telling you to grind mobs for a few levels. But they're not going to put that in the free guide, you know what I mean? They don't want people getting to that free, because the 1 to 20 thing is free, no matter what. But yeah, basically, I guess ever since the Alex Central stuff, somebody has like made it his like life's work to just always leak or whatever. Like literally, like as soon as the new stuff comes out, the guy like cracks it. I don't know how or whatever happens here, but there's some guy on Encore that like he updates it like every single time. So it's literally you can just get everything for free now. Which, you know, I don't know. I'm kind of two minds on, because I support like people who think like everything on the internet should be free. Like, you're fucking insane, honestly. Like, you think that's not going to encourage the best products. Like, you know what I mean? But I get, you know, the counterpoint to it. It's like there shouldn't be a paywall, which I fucking hate that word, but there shouldn't be a paywall to it. It's meant to be, you can make it open, like open to everybody, and then just kind of ask for donations kind of thing, which is, you know, that's pretty much what I do. I've never charged anybody for any actual service directly, even though I probably should. But the idea there that if like you cannot make guaranteed income from something that is that much work. So like I just made a Rested Experience guide for Azure Span. I did Azure Span every single quest in the zone. That was the goal, to try to get 60 to 70 in Azure Span only. It's not going to really be possible without experience boost, but it's close. So that's why I made that, because I knew I wanted to do that anyway. So I made that, and it took a while. It took me like probably about 12 hours of work. And that's building off their guide, which I now got for free. I cracked, you know, because when you download the guides, like when you pay for them, they give you a script that automatically imports the guides to you. So you cannot edit them. You cannot look at them. They're just in the add-on now. Which I even said to them like a month ago, or no, more than that, like a year ago. I'm like, hey, like how much for the text guide? Because I do not like this guide and I would like to edit a small thing about it. And they're like, oh, sorry, unfortunately, we don't do that anymore. It's like, oh. Well, that's not great, because now I'm stuck with this guide as it is, and I do not want it as it is. So that was part of the thing I was satisfied with, was like, oh, you can change small things about it if you really want, but it's such a great template. So anyway, now that we have the text guide again, because I guess somebody's cracking it, I don't know, I don't even understand how any of this works, but regardless, yeah, it's all out there now. You can edit it now. So I just took the stuff that they made for the guide of Azure Span and just added every other quest in between the parts that would take you to, because it's like, it's, for example, it would take you to I'm trying to think of a good example. Okay, just the stuff at Antonitis, Camp Antonitis. That stuff there is like, there's like a bunch of optional quests there, but they don't do any of them. They just take you through the main quests of that area. So, okay, you know what I mean? Like, I just added in all the optional quests alongside the main ones. And that took me still 12 hours, you know what I mean? So if I did the entire zone by myself without any actual assistance, it'd probably take me weeks. What I'm trying to say is, they did one for every fucking zone in Dragonflight. You know what I mean? They did a full level 60 to 70 guide on how best to do it, not just to do it. So that's a lot of fucking work they put in. You know what I mean? Like, they definitely deserve some money. To say they don't deserve 30 United States dollars for that, it's like, bro, that's fucking entitled as fuck. $30, dude? I went out to dinner last night. I spent $32 on my dinner. That was one meal, but that is my whole day of food. But like, one day of food cost me more money than that guide did. And I've used that guide dozens of times now, leveling characters. It's a great value. You can't, like, I don't know why people think, like, I really don't get it. Because even comparing it to other WoW transactions, like, do you want a $25 mount store, or do you want a $30 guide that's going to make your time spent in these zones much more enjoyable, maybe? Like, I enjoy it. I think a lot of people don't enjoy it. or they think they won't enjoy it, so they don't try it, which is common on the internet, myself included. I do that kind of thing all the time, but they don't even really give it a shot, and I get why they wouldn't, because it's not free. But I think you'd be surprised at how fun leveling with an add-on like that is. At least for me, dude, one of the things I've always hated was like clicking through the menus and stuff, especially when there's like dialogues and stuff. That's just not fun. It's just not enjoyable. I don't enjoy, like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Oh, I have to talk to this guy. Oh, he's got 4 dialogues. Which one am I supposed to choose? Like, you know, after you do it a couple dozen times, you start not worrying about it anymore. But it's just like, I'm not really interested in clicking these buttons, to be honest. Like, it's just not really interesting to me, you know? That part is not fun. My favorite part of the game is the combat. You know, run from place to place, fight mobs, punch them, you know what I mean? And then go back. I like that. That's my favorite part. So, like, all the menuing and stuff, like, I think probably most people who speedrun games would say that the menuing is, you know, got a high skill expression, but I don't think anybody actually really enjoys it. Maybe some people do just because they're, you know, all in on the speedrunning concept, but whenever I tried to do Pokemon speedrunning, and that's the other thing about it. Like, people act like you shouldn't pay. Like, this is the comment somebody made. Like, why would you pay to do something only marginally faster than you're already doing it? And it's like, because you're trying to do it as fast as humanly possible. It's a speedrun guide, a guide to help you do it as fast as humanly possible. So even if you disagree with the guide, like, the add-on is mandatory for that. You know what I mean? You can't, like, that's not on the table here. The add-on will make you level faster than no add-on. And if you even watch, like, the guys who has speedrun, like, on Season of Mastery or Classic in general, a lot of them use the guide and they don't actually really follow the steps of it, because they probably don't necessarily agree with it. They're probably just kind of like promoting it. You know what I mean? They're part of the company, so they have it on their screen. So when people watch their stream, they see them do it. But in reality, it's probably not the best for every single person leveling. And those guys who are like, they only level fast, they probably realize they can do it faster. But anyway, my point is the add-on is extremely powerful. It has a lot of power to it. Like, the fact that it automatically sets your hearth, automatically takes, like, as soon as you talk to a flight giver, a flight path, it automatically sends you to where the guide tells you to go. You don't even have to open the menu. You just talk to the guy and he just flies you there automatically. That's fucking insane. I love that. That is like my favorite feature. That and automatically setting the hearth. And then whenever it tells you to hearth, there's like a item tray that opens on the screen, and you like don't even have to go into your bags. You know what I mean? And those small things, like, people laugh about, like, oh wow, that saved you 3 seconds, but it's just like, I don't know, I just like going fast, I guess. And that's probably why I like Mythic Plus, and I get a lot of people don't like that, but I fucking love that. When the first time I checked out that add-on, I've immediately fell in love with that part of it. Like, that is my favorite part of the add-on. The guides are whatever. Like I said, I would happily make my own guide. If I had the free time I had years ago now, I would just make my own guide. Maybe not for Classic, but I do want to make my own for Dragonflight. And you can do that for free. The add-on is free. It's just the guide that they spent all this time on is not. So yeah, I don't know. I think they should get money for that. I honestly do. Like, it's not expensive. It really isn't. You know what I mean? Like, it's really not. It's basically like a power leveling service. It just, you do it yourself instead of somebody else does it for you. And I don't know how much people pay for that. Like, I know people like pay gold and shit for that. But I don't know how much it is. Maybe it's just cheaper. Obviously, I'm sure it is, but it's like, it's basically just legal power leveling. You know what I mean? And if you plan on doing it once, then yeah, maybe $30 isn't worth it. But somebody like me who has leveled, I leveled probably 7 characters on, I think I leveled them all with that guide, if I remember correctly. 7 characters on Dalaran. I've then leveled 2 more Death Knights. My original Paladin. I now leveled that Evoker. I probably leveled like at least 12 or 13 characters to 70 at this point. And probably at least like 3 or 4 of them have been me trying to only do Azure Span. Like, that was Azure Span only was the goal. So now that I made the guide, I'm only ever going to follow that guide and use that add-on to do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the fastest way to do it. Like, well, I don't want to spend any more time doing it, then I'm doing it to enjoy it, yes, but I'm also doing it to level the character. So I just made the route that I enjoy the most, and now I do the route. It's easy. You know what I mean? Like, that to me is the logical progression of the game. But there's this weird, especially in the classic community, not necessarily people who would follow this channel or watch this content, like, there's this weird mentality there where, like, you have to be a noob. Like, that's the only way you can enjoy the game. And I tried to explain this to, you know, people in that camp years ago. There's a video on One Legion TV or whatever the channel is called now, that got like, oh my god, another BOE. That got like 1 million dislikes, but it was like, you know, fucking hard truths, man. They cut both ways, as a wise man once said. Like, this is the truth, and if you don't want to hear it, I'm sorry, but it is the truth. And what I said in that video was, all this like, oh, it's a meaningful journey, it's so magical, like all these things, like that's just nostalgia. That's just you being a noob, right? Once you've leveled as many characters in classic as you have in retail, it's not gonna feel that way anymore. So a lot of people who say that are like, you know, those people are they're not realizing why they're saying that. It's not the game doing that to them. It's their own emotions towards the game doing that to them. Now, don't get me wrong, Classic's amazing, and I enjoy leveling characters a lot in it. But it's like, I don't know, the weird, overly strong emotional affect to doing so, it's like, that's just kind of creepy. Like, that's kind of weird to me. I don't really like that. Because you're kind of fantasizing the game up a bit, you know what I mean? Over dramatizing what the game is. It's a great game, and the content in it ranges from extremely good to extremely bad, just like any game. But the truth of it is, it's just a well-designed leveling process that happens over such a long period of time that you almost get to do it again. Like we said yesterday, but the time you do another character, you'll have forgotten what the previous character went through. So it's almost like it's kind of like a fresh journey every time. But eventually, if you're only like, you know, when I said this, what I intended to say this was to people who planned on having an army of alts on Classic, like Might on Live WoW. Like, when you're on your 5th character, you're probably going to feel like it's a grind, and you're not going to enjoy it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how life works. And so then when you're at that point, then all you're focused on is the end result. So then, instead of this meaningful journey, you know, all this bullshit, now you're only worried about getting the character to 60 ASAP. And guess what happens when you're only worried about getting the character to 60 ASAP? You start speed running the game. Like, it's just the logical progression through a video game. That's, if you want to keep playing a game for 20 years, that's just how it's going to go. You're never going to be able to play a game frequently for 20 plus years and have that same level of emotional platitude. Like, it doesn't exist. It's not possible. That's just not how the brain works. You know what I mean? You can try to trick your brain into feeling that way for a more elongated period of time, like I do, by taking breaks and not doing the same thing multiple times. Like, whenever you feel that diminishing return, like, you should be able to train your brain to know this. You can feel diminishing returns coming, and you could stop them from happening. And that denies your brain that negative feedback towards something that should be positive. That is the, like, summary of all the things I've learned about brain chemistry and games in general over the years. That is the, like, key to it. Whenever you feel yourself starting to burn out, stop immediately. Like, pump the brakes hard, and do not let your brain get into that where it's like now all of a sudden you're getting negative responses from something that you used to like. Because once you, like, if you do that enough, then your brain is going to trump, like, negative responses are stronger than positive responses, especially in, like, low stress situations, right? Like, if you, like, saved your, you know, somebody you loved from dying, that would be far stronger than them not being saved. But in a video game, you know, the strength of the positive emotion is relatively small. So the negative emotion is more able to be expressed, you know what I mean? But anyway, like, that's a whole different topic. But yeah, so just don't let that happen is what whenever you feel it happening, just stop. Stop whatever you're doing. Don't let the negative start. And this is the secret to like long-term interest in the game. That's all it is. It's super easy. Just don't ever let the game upset you. And if you can do that, like especially the game, like obviously the players, that's a whole different story. We're pugging Mythic Plus. Unfortunately, that's hard to stop. But yeah, don't ever let the game itself, the things that you log in and are looking forward to doing, don't ever let those upset you. And if they do upset you, stop doing them. And if you come back and they still upset you, you just, that's it. That you know what I mean? Like, you tried. That's all you can do. Like, you can't force yourself to like WoW anymore. You know, I get a lot of people end up just not having fun with the game anymore. But it's not a permanent thing in your life at times, you know what I mean? But that's the trick. And if you can get into doing that, it'll be far healthier for your, and you'll learn this lesson and be able to use these tools everywhere now. So whenever anything like that happens, I now immediately recognize it. You know what I mean? Like, I learned that skill of how to perceive burnout and perceive that negative feedback from something that should be positive. Like, for example, this is when I first realized it was happening, was the whole conversation with Titan Forging, where people were talking about getting a 30 item level Titan Forge, and their response was, oh, but it wasn't a 45 item level Titan Forge. It's like, okay, that's really unhealthy, but I didn't recognize it at the time. But like, looking back at that, it's like, I mean, that's just fucking straight up cynical, right? Like, that's, you just won, but you didn't win enough, and you're not happy. You know what I mean? That's not what the game's goal was there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's important to recognize that the game had a goal with the system, and you have now basically talked yourself out of enjoying the goal. That's the way I would look at it. And that's completely within your control. People blame Blizzard for that, but that's just as much on the player as it is on Blizzard. Sure, maybe Blizzard could have designed a better system, but it's not entirely their responsibility to be able to treat everybody's brain chemistry. You know what I mean? If you're in a state where you're feeling like if the responses don't seem to match the purpose of their initial goals, that's just as much on you as it is on Blizzard. You know what I mean? In that case, obviously, if like Blizzard said like, hey, I'm gonna delete your character, we want you to have fun when that happens, okay, you know, I get it. Some things are not ever gonna be fun for the player, and Blizzard is wrong about them, but I think for the most part, everything that gets added to the video game is supposed to be enjoyable, right? Like, that's their job. And it's really strange to me how many people just can't, I don't know, like, they can't recognize that Blizzard is trying to make the best game they can make. And especially how few people recognize that there might be different ways to enjoy the game for different people. That's really been the biggest issue over the years. And that's coming all the way back now to the Rested Experience conversation. But, like, a lot of people just don't recognize, like, hey, you know what, man, this guide and this add-on is very, very good. A lot of people might like it, and the people who made it for a very specific reason. They should get paid for, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, it's really not that much money. So I think it's like a meager, like, if I was wealthy and I wanted to donate them to compensate me for my time, I'd be talking like hundreds of dollars. Like, this is such a valuable tool. It makes you level so much faster in Classic. Like, it's fucking insanely valuable. Like, you will, like, when I was leveling the characters on hardcore, everybody was remarking at how fast I leveled. And like, I did 1 to 20 in 9 hours, which is no land speed record, obviously, but man, that's pretty good. And that was not the speedrun guide. That was the hardcore guide, the safe guide. There was multiple times in that guide where I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? You know what I mean? But they're trying to give you the safest route. So like, the speed leveling guide probably would have been only 6 or 7 hours. You know what I mean? Because we wouldn't have gone back and forth between the zones. And we actually fucking like hearthed and had to fly all the way back to the Sepulchre. We hearthed back to the crossroads because I got cornered by a son of Argyle. So that added like at least maybe 20 minutes to the playthrough. You know what I mean? So anyway, my point is that there's a lot of different ways to play and enjoy the game. But if you feel like you are not having a healthy response to something that's supposed to be fun, or that you see others enjoying, it's probably something that you need to work on more than anything else. And I promise you, once you get into that mindset where you have control of your own brain chemistry, you have the ability to impact what makes you happy and what makes you unhappy. You are not just some helpless observer in your own life. you will become a better adult. You will become more functional, more able to control your emotions, and more able to derive enjoyment and positivity from things that might not inherently seem like a positive. You know what I mean? I've struggled with this my whole life. This has been my biggest issue. A lot of people in my family have had issues with outlook. Let's just say that, like, not necessarily seeing the positives in situations. And further, like, the extreme of that is like anger issues. You know what I mean? Very over the top reactions to things that shouldn't be negative. So when you combine those two, you have something that should be good ends up causing a rage, and that's really unhealthy. I don't necessarily feel like I've ever had that, but I know it's there in my family and in my upbringing. So I've looked heavily into how to never let that happen to me, and make sure that when I'm, paying fucking $60 for a round of golf, I'm able to enjoy it no matter how bad I play or no matter what happens. I always, the perspective is important. So that's something that I think everybody needs in their life and everybody can learn from, especially on this day of, instant access to information, instant access to, so many stimuli. And I think your brain does get worn out. I really do. I really think that eventually you need to turn the stimuli off for a little bit, because there's just too much of it. You know what I mean? Anyway, that was a long conversation, but yeah, no, okay, so let's keep moving here. We can go a little bit longer. I just wanted to get this done and uploaded before the stream started today. I'm recording this Wednesday. That's the day it'll also be uploaded. Thursday. That is the day it'll also be uploaded. And then I don't know when I'll be able to return to it. I think I might have time for something tomorrow. I just don't know if I want to prioritize that because I have a lot going on this weekend. My father's official burial, he was cremated, so we're going to have a official ceremony for that tomorrow, and then we're in the process of basically cleaning everything out in the house. Mostly my mom is doing that, but I'd like to help her, but it's been kind of a one-man job for a while now. But now there's a bunch of stuff that I need to clean out, so I need to do that. And then this weekend we're supposed to go to the fair, the county fair. That's like a really, really big county fair around here. So that's supposed to either be Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember what we decided. And then I think there was something further that I needed to do the other day too. I can't remember what, but I basically don't have any free time on the weekend. So whatever free time I have Friday. And so that ceremony thing I'm supposed to go for 3-ish, I believe. And then I was supposed to get together with Harry. He wanted to get together this weekend to try to record. But like we were saying the other day, he's most consistent when he's inconsistent. So I would not expect that to happen. But if it does happen, I'll need to find the time to make that happen. And we said maybe Friday afternoon before I go. Like when we get together for 2 hours Friday afternoon before I go, then that would be perfect. Noon to 3 or something like that. Anyway, what's up? So we're picking up lumber. I really don't like this spider quest, but we're talking so heavily that I guess we're just committed to the zone now. Oh, that's not good. Let's just try to... I don't think we're really in that much danger, but we'll fear it. We're kind of in danger. We did just get another nice upgrade on the gloves, but we don't have a lot of health. I think is our biggest problem on this character. I'm not necessarily gonna say that our damage is low, even though it probably is pretty low. I think our biggest issue is we have no real AoE. I should have at least taken Holy Nova, but taking Renew was just a bad idea. If I did this again, we would definitely not take Renew. Oh, wait. Oh, we have to take Renew to get to Holy Nova. So, yeah, that's one way or the other not happening. Renew was pointless. It didn't really help. I just like the spell. I've always liked the spell. It's a little nostalgia there from Classic. In Classic, as a priest, it's like such a fun thing. Like you just put up a bubble, renew yourself to heal damage in between combat, and just wand and dot, and that's it. And you like never run out of mana. You never really take damage because the bubbles are so strong, especially early. It is like the easiest class to level for like at least like some segment of time. Especially like 1 to 20. I think it's by far the easiest class to level. Alright, is this rare up? Oh, there he is. This guy hits really fucking hard, if I remember correctly. Last time I fought this guy in a leveling challenge, he almost killed me, and that was on a much more geared and prepared character. But he's taking a lot of damage right now. We have the full buffs up, so need to reapply powered shields. Alright, and he's dead before he was able to kill me, so that's good. Thankfully, we had all of our CDs up, so we were able to kill him nice and quick. Did we not get anything from him? Wow. I'm pretty sure that guy's supposed to drop the pattern. There's patterns that used to only come from killing the NPCs in Hearthglen. And I don't think those are in the game anywhere outside of those rares right now. I guess it's rare. Boy, let's see. Done with the lumber stuff now. I don't know, I think like maybe it's just WoW or what, but like I really like this whole like go here, go there, go here, go there, go here, go there, like objective based gameplay. Like I like that a lot. I think it's present in Mythic Plus, but it's definitely not like it is in leveling where it's like traveling a lot. And that's why I like Classic and especially Rested Experience in Classic so much, because it like really directs you to do the travel. Like if I was leveling on my own without any knowledge from this guide, I would probably not leave zones very commonly. You know what I mean? The Rested Experience guide tells you exactly when you should leave, when you should get training, when you should drop quests, like, you know, pick up certain quests. Yeah, also, the big thing is it told me about quests that I didn't even know existed for some zones. That's how I found out about the one of my favorite quest lines in the game right now, in Classic, that is. The Scythe of Elune quest. I did not know that quest existed. If it wasn't for Rested Experience's guide, I would not know that quest existed. So, fucking awesome. That's one of my favorite quests ever. And they pick it up as an aside because you were running through the area, you pick it up, and now you're going to Darnassus, so pick it up and turn it in. Like, you know what I mean? It's just free extra experience. You don't need to do the rest of the quest chain, but it is free extra experience. And that's the kind of thing I would never think about. Like, if it was me leveling, I would be like, well, I'm not going to do this whole chain, so I'm not even going to bother picking it up. But in reality, it's, you know, free experience that you can pick up part of the chain and not finish it. Like, that's fine. Not normally how I play the game, but that is fine. All right. Well, yeah, this will be it. We're gonna... well, we have to do this quest still. North Ridge Spider Alert. This is definitely one of my least favorite quests in the zone, so... or really in the game. I think we actually go up to Hearthglen after this, don't we? Maybe we'll do a little bit more. I don't necessarily need to go right now, but... I don't want the episodes to be super long either. I feel like there's definitely a way to get more than one in at a time, but it just doesn't ever feel like it works. So I just focus on trying to get one in at a time. This one we kind of got lucky with. And but see, now we've split them up a bit. Yeah, see, they're like running opposite directions. But it still saves us some time. This one is now also very close. Wait, what happened? Oh, it didn't count. We only got credit for 2 instead of 3 there. Is it because we didn't stay close enough? This zone has all-time bad quests. It's really wild. It is such an important zone from a lore perspective, and such an iconic zone from Classic because of the cauldrons and how readily available the experience was. And then obviously on top of that, like the end game repercussions of the zone were massive. Like some of the most important quests in the game take place in this and Eastern Plaguelands. And then in Cataclysm, they just butcher it, like straight up. I mean, it's not bad. It's actually pretty good. I like how they have the Anderhall stuff. But wow, some of the actual gameplay in the zone is really strange. It's just not commensurate with the rest of the game. And that's the big issue, because the whole purpose of the leveling challenges was because the rest of the game is so easy that you make the leveling challenges to make it a lot more, you know, renewably enjoyable. But then when you come up against an actual hard quest, then it's like, well, wait a second. Now I'm just completely hindered because I'm doing a leveling challenge for something that's actually tuned to be difficult. So it kills the fun of it, you know? Tough. I don't know where there would have been a chest. I swear this add-on is just not right. One day, I've been trying to do it. I actually have like a... Let me show you. I have like a picture of every chest. I was making like a guide. Do I still have the document? I don't even know where I have it. Huh. I know I have it somewhere, but I don't know. Have it somewhere. I thought it was on my Google Drive, but it doesn't seem like it. That one counted. I think I was just because I was too far away when it died, maybe. Well, this is a strange episode, but some good therapy I really needed. I'm really not feeling... It's a lot of stress. I'm having trouble dealing with that stress right now, so... Alright, here we go.
Greetings.
Turn him in.
Honored friend.
What can I do for you? Farewell. Be careful. Farewell.
No, up to Tyrion. Alright, cool. That's where we'll end the episode, then we'll go up there. It's just meant to be a mount we can take as well. Looks like another rare here. It's like a dog or something, isn't it? Oh no, it's a bug. Makes 0 sense, but welcome to Cataclysm. Got it. More leather. Apparently treasures at the old tower here, right? Ah, yeah, but that's the Knoll quest. So we won't be going there now. This is such an iconic area. This was actually featured in Warcraft 3. This is the mission where you have to defend Hearthglen for like 20 minutes or something like that from Scourge attacks. One of the most unique, and like I feel like this is like an iconic mission in WoW. Or in Warcraft 3. I feel like that kind of mission where like mobs just like steadily trickle in and it's just like you defending an area, that is like what I love about Warcraft 3. So I'll have to think of what to do for the rest of the playthrough, because we're clearly not getting to 50 in these zones one way or the other, so
You need something?
have to come up with something. Where was this quest? Oh, it's above. Guess we'll just go to the Barrens? Or maybe we'll go to like Arathi or something. We'll try to stay on this continent. We'll go to Arathi. I've never done that zone either. There's a quest line in Classic that I really wanted to do where it's like it starts in Stranglethorn and it heads back to Arathi. Kind of similar, it feels like kind of similar to the
Greetings.
Elune, Scythe of Elune quest, which is for Horde.
Put your faith in the
Metro,
light,
it's truly a
and
pleasure.
all
I
is
know you are
possible.
young and still training, but I've had my eye on you. We among the Ardent Crusade are always looking for promising new recruits, and you have indeed shown great promise. We have no immediate task for you, but merely wish to meet you in person and see for myself what type of undead you really were. For the time being, the amenities of Hearthglen are yours to enjoy. I look forward to your next meeting, Metro. You are dismissed.
The end of the scourge draws near.
Sends my regard to the good men and women at Minderstead. There's like a bunch of... Why lie about it? Like, there's a bunch of tasks. Tyrion's such a liar. Is there in here? I'm pretty sure there is. I think I wanted to set my hearth here at one point. Be a cool place to have your hearth set as a paladin. But in Classic, this area is controlled by all, like, elite, like, high-level Scarlet mobs. Pretty dangerous. It's almost like a dungeon outdoors. Pretty cool. A lot of areas like that. Same with Tyr's Hand in Classic 2, which is still held by them in Live WoW, but... Well, this ain't an inn either way. This is like a town center. There is an inn, right? Stables. It's like a lumber mill. This is it. That should be it, but it's not actually an inn, I guess. Thought there was a place you can log out and get rested, but just because I don't know when the next time I'll be on is. Might not be tomorrow, might be, you know, not for another full week now, so. I swear there's an inn here, but I guess... Oh, is that? Maybe that's the inn? I have Innkeeper track, so I guess there is no inn here. Oh, well. All right. Thanks anyway, guys. We will be back to, well, I don't know when we'll be back, but we'll be back at some point, and hopefully in that episode, we will get closer to 50. This episode did not get as much experience, I feel like, but we were very close to 38, so yeah, hopefully we can hit a stride and get to 50 in the next few episodes, and then we'll be on to the Heritage Armor, which I'm very excited for, so thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.